Okay, so I'm actually going to tell you to skip over some details so that I could start with the funny story about Dave. I thought that would buy me some time. So, like all good ideas, it started with a conversation with Dave about, I don't know, at the last ACT conference. And for many of you who know, Dave used to be sort of chunky, right? He was sort of a heavy guy. And then he had a coronary event. I mean, he liked to eat. He liked to eat meat. Like, he was a meat and potatoes kind of guy. Maybe he wasn't really chunky, and he smoked and blah, blah. He was not the healthiest person. And we're sitting there looking at this buffet of food, and he pulls out a little bag of nuts, a little bag of carrots, and I said, what's that? And he said, this is my dinner. And this was after the coronary event. And I said, wow, that's like, wow, you must have amazing willpower. And he said, that could kill me. And he said, what kind of person? He said, that is poison to me, Kathryn. What kind of person would eat poison? And I said, I don't know, an idiot? And he goes, exactly. And do I look like an idiot to you? And as we saw this morning when we watched the video, Dave has managed to keep his trim physique. He's managed to stop smoking. He's blah, blah, blah. He's done all of it because all of that stuff became poison to him like that. And so, in retrospect, that's probably where I got this idea. Okay, so the title of my talk is called Becoming a Bright Lifer. A Bright Lifer is a member of a weight loss program community, and it is an identity. So systemic change of long-term weight loss in an online community. Okay, so fast forward to now, 1/3 of the world is now overweight, with the U.S. leading the way. This translates into roughly 2 billion people are overweight, 600 million of them are obese. In the U.S. alone, over $108 million are being spent every year on diet-related products, and this doesn't even include people who are just trying to exercise and eat less on their own. That said, another article came out about the same time that according to the Journal of the American Medical Association, fewer people are trying to lose weight than ever before in this particular generation, or in previous generations. So people have just stopped. And the reason they have stopped is because it's too hard. They see it as not being successful or sustainable long term, and also just the normalization of obesity. And they're not wrong. In terms of the success rates among the obese who try to lose weight, the failure rate is 99%. And of that 1% who are successful, the vast majority have regained that weight within just a couple of years. There are many consequences to obesity. Many are health-related, either morbidity, people die, or because of the comorbidity associated with obesity. There's a ton of economic costs. One number that jumped out at me was that over the next 20 years, the World Economic Forum has argued that developed countries will spend $47 trillion in diseases related to obesity. And also there's some economists who have shown that it costs obese men an additional $8,000 a year just to live, and it's more like $17,000 for women because of the wage discrimination they experience in the workplace. And of course, there are many, many social costs as well. Okay, there's been very little research, however, on successful long-term weight loss because nobody can actually do it. Among obesity research, there's not one single scientific peer-reviewed journal which documents any weight loss program that has successfully gotten a cohort of people to their weight loss goal and has kept them there for any distinguishable period of time. We're doing a little bit better in social psychology. Ellen Granberg's work, Is That All There Is? Possible Self-Change in Weight Loss. She found that when individuals achieved their goal weight, and I'm going to say this was a weight loss goal of 30 pounds, many had to readjust their expectations of what their possible selves were going to be in order for them to feel satisfied about their weight loss. And in an unpublished dissertation by Christina Groer, Amy's student, Weight Loss, Subculture, Socialization, and Affective Meaning, she compared the affective sentiments regarding a dozen or so identities and behaviors of weight loss related items from a loosely defined weight loss subculture. And I say loosely defined because they are recruited from a variety of weight loss programs, health food stores, gyms, yoga studios, and things like that, who are trying to lose weight or maintain a weight loss versus those who have never tried to lose weight. So I think the work that I'm sort of starting is sitting at the intersection between these two studies. So the current study it's really just beginning to pick up speed, so it's very, very preliminary. It's based on a sample associated with an online weight loss community called Bright Line Eating LLC. And so the sample is going to be members of this community at various levels of their involvement. So this was founded in 2013 by Dr. Susan Pierce Thompson. She's a cognitive psychologist and neuroscientist. She's also a bit of a geek. She had a tenure track position. She had a tenured position somewhere, and she gave it up in order to run this company. But she loves data, and so she's been collecting data on her participants for 3 years, like weekly surveys about behaviors, attitudes, feelings, weight, body measurement, etc. She's currently got over 10,000 people who signed up to take part in their 8-week boot camp. She currently has 2,000 people, over 2,000 people, signed up in her monthly continuity program who have followed the completion of the 8-week boot camp course. So they've got this ongoing research study tracking the participants' outcomes. Again, initial and weekly weight, initial and monthly body measurements, levels of hunger, cravings, or peace around food, feelings, etc., and also behaviors, lots and lots of behaviors. Writing down and committing your food the night before, weighing and measuring your food, maintaining 4 bright lines of the program, which those of you who've ever studied OA, very similar, meditation, seeking help and providing social support to other members in a 24/7 online community, as well as a variety of other behaviors. So the 8-week bootcamp ending survey is basically an expanded survey with lots more information about retrospective accounting on how things went for them, as well as one open-ended question. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about your BLE journey? And I particularly like the parenthetical, feel free to write as much as you like. And I was like, oh yeah, this woman loves data. Well, as of March 2017, I'm not sure about that. And this is the reason I got excited about this program, is that after the bootcamp ends, 87% of the people maintained their weight loss and or continued to lose. And within 1 year, 28% made it down to their goal weight, and many of those people are still losing. Many people in her program have lost tremendous amounts of weight. We're talking 180 pounds, 150 pounds. She's also, it's a distributed sample in terms of age. There are people there who are like 20 years old. The oldest person in our sample is 98. Other people who have gotten to goal weight, and of those people who get to goal weight, 84% are maintaining it over 6 months later. So it's a pretty successful program by anybody else's standards. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so on average, those who still need to lose weight after the boot camp ends and continue to become bright lifers continue to do so, and they don't stall out. And the non-bright lifers tend to stall out because 40% of them stop following the program. And you might ask, well, how would she know if they don't become bright lifers? And what's so fascinating about this is she's done such a good job about selling why the research matters that a good portion of the people who don't become bright lifers still fill out the research surveys. So other non-related programs and opportunities that she offers, as well as roles that she has created to make available to members of her community. So they teach a course on mindfulness and meditation. She basically is teaching her college level course in positive psychology. We're now running a certified coaching program to create bright life coaches. But she also has more informal roles that people can get appointed into based on their participation in the program. We've had master posters in their online community, house leaders in the Facebook community, informal coaches, and paid employees. Most of the people who work for her company are actually went through the program itself. So this project I've outlined in the abstract for the most part, so I don't have to go through all those details. But the phase 1 is actually something, so I must say when Kim asked me to present this stuff, this was like a gleam in my eye. I was like, oh, I'm really interested in this program. This is what I would love to do. And Kim's like, oh, no, you should put this in here. And now I know why, based on everything that I've heard this weekend. And I was like, I don't even know if I can get the data. And
like 5 minutes later.
And as it turned out, so I'd written a woman a letter, blah, blah, blah. And again, she's a geek, and they don't have time to analyze all of their data. But anything, she basically said yes. There was a carte blanche, anything you want to do, yes, yes, yes. So I've got the IRB letter clearance that says I have access to this community. But phase one was just a gift. They gave me the qualitative open-ended responses and testimonials from those 10,000 boot camp participants. So I'm going to analyze the qualitative open-ended responses and testimonials that put in the boot camp ending interviews for evidence of sentiment change, as well, and so using some of the qualitative methods that Linda and I were talking about, or that Linda talked about for me. Phase two, creating collective sentiment dictionary from people going into the program at the very beginning, so I expect more variance among these people, and then through the end of their 8-week intensive socialization process, check them again. I've already done focus groups with employees of BLE who have also gone through the program, and I'm currently working with the head of research about how to get this implemented for their next October 2017 launch. By the way, in a week after she said yes to everything, her book landed on the New York Times bestseller list, so her enrollment is just continuing to grow. So phase three is to track a smaller group of individuals as they move through the program, collecting sentiment dictionaries along the way. So I'm glad to know that there is variation if you ask people to rate things over and over during a relatively short period of time. And phase four is to conduct in-depth interviews with members of the Bright Lifers community who reached their goal and have maintained that weight for more than 6 months. And I'm in the process of really thinking through the interview guide, and it's going to be based on the themes found in the exit surveys, which I'm going to be looking at this summer with students, based on my observations at a 3-day Bright Line eating event, in-person event that I just attended a few weeks ago, and also based on my own online participation in the 14-day challenge, the 8-week boot camp, and also as a member of the continuity program. So this is me and my new best friend, the head of Bright Line Eating Research. For those of you who don't know me, I've never actually collected data in the asset control theory tradition. So questions, comments, and assistance, maybe I should have underlined that part, is welcome. And this was actually me before I ever met this woman, and I met a talk where she's streaming this to thousands of people, and this room is packed. And it says, partnership number 2, a few weeks ago, Kathryn Lively, PhD, blah, 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 to start a partnership, identity changes and sustained weight loss. And as she said that, there was a ripple of excitement in the room. People leaned forward and they started nodding. She goes, yeah, you think that's important, right? She goes, yeah. Kathryn, are you here? Like, she's never met me before. And I'm like, hi. So, as my sister texted me, you are in. So, there you go. So that's all I've got. I missed a singular moment. So just really quickly, some of the preliminary data that I do have is that yes, people come to view sugar and flour as poison, as dangerous, as demons, as whatever. Things like the digital food scale, which shows you weigh and measure your food. It's the most despised object in the world in week 1, and by week 5, this woman said, if there were 2 things, if my apartment burned down tomorrow, I would grab 2 things: my cat and my digital food scale. And so you can just watch the sentiments change. But she's also, in addition to what's going on in the social support group, again, she's a cognitive psychologist. So every day you get a new video where she's telling you like how to think about things. And you go into the support groups and people are policing you on that. And it's just, I think it's fascinating. Thank you.